I recently had a significant birthday, and to celebrate I'm back in my hometown, and today I'm taking a trip into the Brecon Beacons to hike up a hill called Llanny-fan-Fach, I believe the pronunciation is. I'm on my own today, as Kika, who usually accompanies me on these trips, is at a wedding in Brazil, so slightly more exotic than Wales. This is a pretty narrow bridge. I'm not gonna lie, that bridge was a bit scary in a borrowed car. Turns out I forgot to put batteries into the Bronica. I'm gonna use my Ricoh GR1s to get a few quick snaps and head into town before heading up the mountain, and hope I can find an LR44 battery. And so because I forgot the battery and have to head into a town, it means I have to turn around and go back over this bridge, which I'm not looking forward to. But I've seen quite a few big cars pass without any trouble, so should be fine. So I'm, oh fuck. In search of batteries, I stopped off at the picturesque town of Hay-on-Wye. This historic market town is set in a beautiful environment surrounded by hills and valleys, and is actually known as a town of bookshops. Just went to load a roll of film into the Bronica, and it turns out there isn't a take-up spool. I took it out a while ago to put it into another camera that I bought that didn't have a take-up spool in the back, and completely forgot to replace it. So I thought about possible solutions. I don't have any spools with me here. I'm also pretty much in the middle of nowhere, so I don't think I'm going to find any film labs here. So the best thing that I could think of would be to waste a roll of Kentmere Pan 200. The only other film stocks I have are Portra 160 and Ektar 100, not the cheapest films. A bit disappointed, as I was hoping to try this out for the first time, but it's the best thing to do in the situation. So there you go, life lesson learned. So the camera has film, it has batteries, it has a spool. It's a reminder to make sure you're prepped before you go out for a shoot. Anyway, you'll see Llanny-fan-Fach is in the background. That's where we're going next. I think I'll take a shot here just to make sure everything is working, and I'll set this one up at f8, shutter speed 125th. Ideally, I'd like to put this on a tripod, but as the sun's setting, I think it makes sense just to get the shot and move on. So I'm on the route. It feels like the valley is very much in shadow, so hoping just to get high enough to get some good exposures. It's just so nice to be out in nature though. The sound of the streams, sheep roaming free. Very different to the city life that I've been enjoying all summer. So we'll see how this goes. Definitely overpacked, the bag's really too heavy. Out the way. Come on, ladies. So I've just switched to the 65mm lens. I'm trying to get this reflection of the mountain in the foreground and the mountain in the background. So I'm going to shoot this at f8, a 30th of a second, which means putting this on the tripod. So I've switched to the 110mm, the longest lens I have, and things are changing so quickly. At 1 minute there's some sun on the mountains, next minute there's not. One moment the moon's out, next minute it's too high in the sky. I'm just going to try and quickly capture these soft pastel hues behind me. I think Portra 160 would be perfect for this. So the last shot I'm going to take before heading back is of the moon that's just popped up over the hill there. Don't think you can see it here, and I'm not sure if I'll be able to get a good shot of it. Okay. Time to go home. While I've been packing up, I've just been thinking about how much I'm glad that I still came out this evening. I very nearly gave up actually, especially when I realised there are no batteries in the Bronica. I found some, not the right batteries, but some LR44 batteries, not the 4 LR44 batteries it takes, but with a little bit of aluminium foil that I found in a local shop, I was able to get it working. And landscape photography and medium format photography really shouldn't be rushed. However, that said, there's something quite freeing, I guess, about taking your shot, moving on, not overthinking it, not deliberating on compositions and settings, and just going by instinct and intuition, I guess. And we will see how that turns out when the film's developed. So I'm going to make my way back to the car now. I think there's a few hours drive ahead, and I think this video will be continued over another day. On my way back down, I've packed away the video camera. I really wanted to get this shot of Blue Eye. Looks amazing. Shot that at f8, shutter speed of 1 second. I have a feeling there's going to be a bit of motion blur because, once again, I don't have a shutter release cable. So that's something I need to make sure I bring with me for future trips. But fingers crossed. Only another 30 minutes to go, and then a 2-hour drive home. So yeah, let's hit it. So I'm back in Denmark, windy Denmark, hence trying to shield the microphone. I didn't get another chance to go out and shoot while I was near Wales, so I've decided to continue going with the GS1 and another roll of Portra 160. My plan for this evening is to capture some shots at sunset, take a walk around the harbour and the town itself, and I'll dive into some of my initial thoughts on the GS1 while I'm here too. One of my first observations about the GS1 is that people tout it as being a smaller, lighter 6x7 camera, and it is, but it still has some heft to it, and you do feel it if you're walking around without any kind of support in the form of a neck strap. So coming to you from the future, it turns out that when I recorded this section, the focusing was completely off, which is very fitting because that is the subject of my second point. I should mention that I'm actually in Norway. This in the background is not Denmark or Wales, and I'm here for work It is stunning here, and I'm putting together a little video which will be out in a couple of weeks, so please do subscribe if you're interested in seeing that. Norway is beautiful, and I'm trying to do it justice with some photos. This is the focusing screen of the Bronica GS1. It's nice, it's big, it's bright, it's easy to use, except that it doesn't have any focusing aids. You just have this matte area, this matte circle in the center there. Bronica made replacements, alternatives, that, for example, have a microprism, but they're not easy to find, and if you do find them these days, they go for quite a lot of money second hand, so just something to consider. This is a very Danish thing here, and it's a reflection on how trusting society is, because in London, where I spent most of my life, this stuff would have been nicked in no time. So people would leave out things that they want to sell by pricing them up and including their mobile pay number, which is basically like a way to send money to your mobile phone. I really like the way that the scene is set up here with the bicycle on the right hand side and the last of the summer light hitting the thatched roof. It feels very peaceful. So the 110mm is actually a macro lens, and I'm going to test out its macro capabilities now. I've opened the aperture up to f4, and I'm going to try and get a shot of these flowers in the last of the evening sun right now. My next observation is that the Bronica focuses the wrong way, and by wrong way I mean it focuses from close focus to infinity by turning it to the left or anti-clockwise. Now whether you consider this the right way or the wrong way probably depends on whether you've grown up using Nikon or Canon cameras, but anyway, behind me you can see the Øresund Bridge. This is a bridge that connects Denmark to Sweden, and I've just put on a 250mm lens with a 2x teleconverter, and I'm curious to see what we can get. So I think it's fair to say that shot won't turn out very well. 15th of a second, and to be honest, the setup was probably too heavy for this tripod. It just felt a little shaky. Still have a couple of shots left on the roll, but it's getting very dark now, so I think I'm gonna call it a day, maybe get some video footage of the harbour here.